Hey guys. So last week I worked on this bed over here, which could trigger the new day event. And let's see if I can get. So it changes the weather, changes the day. You see spring the 5th. And that's what I did last week. This week I wanted to try something new with the skill system that I'm working on. So I made some three little cubes here to signify different skill books or skill tomes, we'll call them. So right now, what I have implemented is player could pick up a skill book, and you can see those are the three that I picked up in my inventory. But the plan is for these skill tomes to be able to be found through quests or certain bosses, or some skills might be able to be picked up or randomly dropped from certain enemies. So right now, this is just a quick spell book I have. Eventually, I'm going to change it to skill book, and this is where all your skills will be stored. So, for example, and I've done this in other videos. We have the fireball here, and let's call this guy real quick. So similar to how these items drop, I want it to, so skill books could be dropped as well, like I picked up before, and then they can be added to the player's skill book. So right now there's no like implementation for this, but eventually you'll be able to click on it, and then information will come up about that skill here, and you could just either read it, or it'll be a sellable item too, so you could sell it to an NPC or be able to pick it up. Or be able to read it to acquire the new skill, which will go into your skill book, and then you could drag the different skills to your action slot here. So let me real quick just go into how this is set up. All right, so what I did was I made a skill tome, which is just an item, and it will hold the skill that you'll be able to learn. Now, the skill is just a scriptable object with a name, a category, type, so it could be active, passive, and in other games, there's different ways of acquiring skills, but I wanted to make it so you can get skills not just from leveling up and using a skill tree, but be able to find the skills or buy the skill books, similar to Skyrim in the world. And I think the more powerful skills will be from like more difficult bosses. I think that's one of the plans. But what I found was that originally I just had spells as one general skill, but for the melee classes, I wanted to have certain spells that could be used and utilized through the weapons. So rather than have like blade spin was one of the ones that let's see if I can go back to the one of those skills that I implemented. But I don't want the player to have to keep switching between. I need a sword in both hands. 1 second. Action slot. We're going to change the pickaxe to a sword. So instead of having the player switch between different spells when they're just trying to use their melee weapons, I want to make it so, like, for example, blade spin, you could use while you have them equipped rather than switching to different action slot while you're doing it. So it will just kind of be unlocked for the weapons within the class of that weapon, while the spells would be separate, where you could cast different spells depending on what you equip. So this is why I wanted to kind of break it up into a general category of skills, and then within those skills, it could be a spell type skill or a weapon skill or maybe a tool type skill. If you're using this hoe here, or maybe a pickaxe or regular axe. Do I have a... I don't think there's any trees visible in the scene. Oh, there's one. Okay, I'm never gonna get to it. But pretty much, I want to have it so you could break down different skills and have them implemented in different ways, rather than just using separate skills with separate icons, because then your action slot will be just too much to manage, and it won't be as fun. You'll have to keep switching back and forth. So that's the current plan. So for next week, I was planning on changing the item system so you could start selecting them, but this is going to be like a probably 3 week process. So for next week, I just want to focus on the proficiency progression within your tools and weapons, and right now proficiencies will only be for weapons and tools. Spells and skills will have different ranks. But the plan is for, like, let's say you use the axe a lot. You know, with each level up, it'll be able to reduce that percentage of energy that each strike takes. And, you know, as you get more powerful weapons and tools, they'll take more energy to actually use. So that reduction of proficiency will be very, very important. So a player who uses their axe a lot, you know, will be able to progress much faster than, you know, someone who just buys a good axe because they have enough gold. But it'll just take them a lot of energy. So you either need a lot of energy and a lot of gold to get the highest weapon and be able to use it efficiently, or just progress in that tool. And as you go, you know, once you reach the highest level of tool, you know, you'll have like 70, 80, 90% proficiency, and the energy cost won't be as much. So it'll kind of give the player a sense of feeling that, you know, what they've done for the entire game, working on, you know, mining or using the axe, will actually benefit them later on, rather than just, you know, gold being the progression for everything. It will really help the player develop their character more and give that a sense of progression and uniqueness to their character. And yeah, so that's about it for now. Again, next week I'll work on the progression of the or proficiencies of the weapons and tools. But for now, that's it. Thanks for watching.